Hey guys, it's Ocean Breezer 325 here. I'm bringing you guys the Jervis gameplay. You guys may know from my streams or just in general videos, I do not like the Jervis. Also, some of you guys may know my favorite destroyer in the game is the Icarus at tier 5, and I was hoping the Jervis would be 1,000 times better. I was wrong and right at the same time. There's certain things that the Jervis does better, and there's certain things that I just wish, like, I'm confused of what the heck the Jervis is supposed to be. So, the Jervis, in my opinion, is, like, similar to the entire British line. The 6th ship in each series is a transition of gameplay. 100%. This is all my opinion, though, so take this with a grain of salt, right? There's some other people that could say, well, the Jervis is actually really good, you're just a bad player, which, sure, fair enough, I am pretty bad at this game. But again, this entire video is based on my opinion, with loosely based facts, again, because I've actually played a decent amount of this ship, because the Lightning should be, and it better be, miles better than what the Jervis is and what the Icarus is. So if that's not better, I'm probably gonna flip out. Anyway, here, currently waiting to torp the turrets there. You notice I'm running the single tube launchers, which is kind of a mistake on my part here, because single tube launchers are really good at bowing targets that you know are not gonna turn, but anything that is in a turning motion and you fire single by singles is probably gonna miss, because they virtually have no spread. They just go right on top of each other. You also noticed that earlier I pinged the Wichita. The Wichita is a radar cruiser. For those of you guys who don't know, radar can spot you through a smoke screen, and American radar is the most scariest thing in the game. 9-kilometer detection range of any ship in a smoke screen, regardless or not. So that's why the Wichita is like the primary target. If you guys are in a battleship and a destroyer pings a Wichita, you really need to shoot at the Wichita, because the Wichita will absolutely wreck you. And actually, that is what basically killed this Jervis in the smoke screen. Our friendly Wichita was radaring him, and then he gets radared again by a different cruiser, and then, yeah, Jervis had no chance. He's gone. So, you definitely notice the Jervis is decent guns, which is going into my second point. The Jervis is actually a better gunboat than the Icarus will ever be, to be honest, no matter what build you run. The Jervis is an amazing gunboat. Her torpedoes are the same as Icarus. I just feel like her turning is kind of wonky. I don't know if it's the turning circle radius or the rudder shift. I don't think this ship is cut out for like close quarters turning and stuff like that. That's just, I don't know, just the feeling of the ship. For some reason, like, I don't feel like I'm very mobile in this ship. That's just my opinion. But I do think the guns are great. They have amazing fire chance, so yeah, the guns on this ship are definitely improved on from the Icarus. Torpedoes are the same, like I said, so there's nothing much different from the Jervis and the Icarus, other than the Jervis has, I believe, an extra 2 guns and different layout of guns. It is 3x2 layout, so she has 3 mounted guns with 2 turrets inside. If that makes sense, I have no idea how I'm explaining it. Anyway, one way that I like playing my British destroyers is basically with your boatload of smoke screens that last a limited amount of time. You want to use them to your advantage, because that's what most people hate about the British destroyers, but I personally think they're one of the most forgiving destroyer class in the game, because most people who play the American and Japanese destroyers waste those precious smoke screens, and those are precious smoke screens, because especially for the Japanese ships, you play the stealth game, you shouldn't be wasting your smoke screens. So if you do waste one, it's gonna bite you more than wasting a British smoke screen, just because you have 6 of them, and with a certain commander build you can get 8 of them. So there's definitely some benefits of that. And also, an effective way to use the smoke screens is if there's a low health target pushing in to your gun range, just pop your smoke screen. It lasts about 40 seconds depending on your build, 40 to 30 seconds, and then you just burn them down because your fire chance is ridiculous. You burn them down for about 40 seconds, and then you just, you know, wait an extra 10 seconds for your other smoke screen, and then you deploy it again. So you should use on average 2 smoke screens for a full health battleship. If you use more than that, you're wasting them, and then you'll end up in a situation where you use all your smoke screens, and that's never a good thing, honestly. Here you see I'm about to torp this Gneiss now, but then I realize when I'm torping him, he's just like getting way out of range. Like, he's just dipping. He knows there's a destroyer on this side, and there you see him out of range by over like 1.5 kilometers. But I do like this build I have with the Jervis. I believe I get the torpedo range out to 8.7 kilometers with a maxed out destroyer commander for the British. I'm not quite sure what his name is. I believe you can get that to 9.6. So the torpedoes are pretty usable if you get a max commander. Obviously, I only have him at rank 10, so I don't get that 9.6 kilometers. I get the 8.7, which is still pretty good. Damage is pretty low. Obviously, you don't get the 610 millimeter torpedoes like the Japanese boats do. But torpedoes are still good enough to torp things. Here we get in a gunfight with a Shiratsuyu. You definitely notice one thing: I'm horrible at aiming. And another thing, the dispersion on the Jervis is actually very memey at times. I find this to be the worst dispersion among British destroyers in the entire line so far. Obviously, I have not gone to Lightning, but out of the entire line, the Jervis has the most ridiculous dispersion I've seen. It's just, maybe not ridiculous, it's just very memey. Like, it just does whatever it wants to do. You notice this Shiratsuyu gets spotted before I get spotted? That is because I'm running British sonar. Not that it has a good spotting range, just because it just has a long duration. Like, the Shiratsuyu barely spotted me, but it's too late for him. Half his health gone. Sure, he can hit me pretty hard with those high cal guns. He's on fire and everything. He's not long for this world. He gone! So that is 2 kills on the match. You notice not that much damage here. But I'm doing my job. I basically killed the 2 destroyers, which is my main job as a destroyer, and your main job as in any ship you play. You should kill the destroyer first, followed by a radar cruiser, then the battleships. Most battleships players don't know that. They will shoot the other battleships like, oh yeah, cool, historical battles. You're not doing anything to help your team at that point, because now your destroyers suffer because the Wichita, the Worcester, and Cleveland and all those people survive late enough in the match to where the last ship is a destroyer, and then they're running away, and then boom, radar pops, the Wichita or some radar cruiser pops radar, and then it's over. So you guys keep that in mind as battleship players. You guys should get rid of the radar cruisers, and you guys should also know this by heart. What are radar cruisers? Wichita, Cleveland, Worcester, Shapiev, the Budoni, just to name a few. But as a battleship player, you should definitely know what you're doing. If you're going to play the battleships, you have to know what to shoot at first. And the order of importance, again, in any ship, not even a destroyer, should be the destroyer, radar cruiser, and then battleships. Of course, don't be a potato and not shoot the broadside of a battleship. If you got a clean broadside, do it. Like, don't just be like, oh well, Ocean, you said to shoot this. Yeah, but shoot the target that you can delete instantly. If there's a broadside cruiser that doesn't have radar and there's a radar cruiser next to you battle tanking, shoot the one that's broadside, please. Like, don't point this against me. I'm just trying to give you guys tips, but you guys should definitely have common sense. If there's a battle tanking Wichita, don't shoot that thing. Shoot the broadside Cleveland or something. Like, just pick and choose the ships you shoot at. Just because I said kill the radar cruiser doesn't mean shoot him while he's battle tanking and a destroyer. That's stupid. So keep that in mind when you're listening to these tips. So anyway, here I'm trying to burn down this turpits, and this is really a big mistake in my part. I get walloped, but I don't really pay attention to what's walloping me. I forgot the eye was over there. I look to my right. Oh my god, there's an Iowa. Yeah, that was an absolutely horrible mistake. Luckily, I had that smoke screen handy. I pop the smoke screen. I get whacked by the Wichita. Iowa makes the horrible decision to turn out when he could have killed me. And then I get unspotted. And he doesn't get a salvo off. He doesn't even shoot me in my smoke screen. So, that Iowa player should have realized how much health I was on. Luckily for me, I'm currently alive still. So you definitely see how forgiving the British destroyers are. Because clearly I could have died, but luckily I had a smoke screen handy. Any other destroyer I did that in, Japanese, American, I would have been dead. There's no other smoke screen had I just wasted one. And 9 out of 10 times, their smoke screen's still on cooldown because the cooldown is ridiculous. Even though it's long duration, I personally am somewhat of a sloppy DD player. Like, not sloppy. I do like playing destroyers, but I just personally don't like sitting in a smoke screen for an extended period of time. So I do like the way the Jervis plays, or the entire British line. You just get in and out, use the smoke screen, kill somebody, then leave. Like, I feel like when you play a Japanese or American destroyer, you're stuck within your smoke screen for that whole duration, because that's how you get your shots off. But then that makes you really vulnerable to torp threats. But it's not the same with the Jervis, because you have that extended 3-minute sonar. So if you end up getting in a position where there's 3 ships and you just gotta spam that smoke button, you can use the sonar and you'll be at basically no risk of being torpedoed. I mean, for 3 minutes you get the extended sonar, which is really helpful. Here we try to go for our 4th frag here. I was actually pretty excited. We could have got a Kraken, but just like penetrations apparently deal no damage in this game. So at this point we try to shoot the Iowa. Nothing happening here. The Godiza now launches last ditch effort torpedoes, and honestly this got me kind of scared, because the Jervis turning circle radius, or just the way it turns, is just so sluggish in my opinion. Like, even though it says agile, I personally don't think it is. I think the second mod that you get to choose should be steering gears. In my opinion, it's an obligatory modification. Without that, this ship is just turning like an absolute truck. Like, horrible turning, at least destroyer standpoint wise. But yeah, the Jervis is a decent overall ship. I still think the Icarus is probably the best British destroyer here. The Iowa deletes us. He had HE loaded. Congrats, Iowa, you did your job. And then here we send those Hail Mary torpedoes just to try and see if we can yoink that kill for the 4th kill of the match. Obviously not the highest damage match, but a great showcase of what the Jervis can do in the right hands. And unfortunately, the Japanese torpedoes get to him before mine do, and I only connect with, I believe, 1 torpedo. Oh, never mind, we kill him. Thank you guys for riding the waves with Ocean Breezer.